What do you do when you have a good marriage and it starts to go bad? How do you make your good marriage good again? That's the topic of this show. Let's check it out. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome to My 5 Minds. This is where you're going to learn how to build your mental health, strengthen your mind game, your mental game. This is where you're going to learn tools and techniques to help improve your own mental powers. Today, specifically, what we're going to focus on is how to build better relationships. So I want to start off with a story about Jim and Jill. Good couple, good people. They come in my office and they sit down. And right away you can see that there's problems because they're sitting on opposite sides of the couch. And you think, okay, what's the story? Because you always want to know what the story is. And so I start off, and Jill's not shy. Jill's not shy at all to start sharing her story. She begins, I'm so frustrated. Jim doesn't help around the house. Jim doesn't take out the trash. Jim doesn't pick up his clothes. Jim is just totally disengaged in this marriage. And I feel so frustrated. I feel so hurt because he won't participate. And it feels like he doesn't care. Wow, that's a kind of a summarized version, but I'm thinking, wow, okay, you're frustrated. You got a lot going on your plate. And so I turn to Jim. I go, Jim, what's going on? What's all this about? What's happening for you? And Jim says, come on, really? I don't ever take out the trash? Really? I don't ever do anything to help around the house? Sure I do. I just don't do it in her timing. She doesn't think I take it out fast enough. She wants me to take it out right now. She doesn't think I pick up my clothes when she thinks I should pick up my clothes. But I help. Well, I probably don't help as much as I used to. And the reason is I just don't care anymore. I feel like nothing I do is good enough for her. So I feel myself kind of just detaching. Why? Why bother? And again, I think, wow, we got a problem here. Because I want to fix, I want to help, I want to teach these guys what to do to better their relationship. But where do you start? Who do you believe? Is Jill telling me the truth? Is Jim telling me the truth? Where is this marriage broken? Right? Isn't that the first question you want to think about? When you want to try and fix a relationship, you want to focus on where it's broken. Where is it broken? Well, that's the tricky part. Because where it's broken is not in Jill's feelings. She's feeling what she's feeling. She's frustrated. She's hurt. She's upset. And where it's broken is not in Jim's feelings. I'm not trying to tell Jill that Jim is right or that Jill is right. And in fact, being in a right fight is exactly where the problem is for them. So I pull back from it and I think, Jim, Jill, let me see if I have this right. And I put in my incredibly thoughtful and thinking self and I say, okay, Jill, where I hear you frustrated, where I hear you are stuck, is that Jim is the problem. He's not da-da-da-da-da. Is that right? Yeah, she says, okay. Jim, let me see if I understand where the problem is. You feel like the problem is with Jill because she's never happy. She's never satisfied. She's blah, blah, blah. Is that right? Jim thinks for a minute. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. And then I want to point out to them right then and there, I say, you know what the problem is, you guys? You guys are focused on this. You're focused on who's right and who's wrong. That is your primary problem. The reason why you guys can't communicate, the reason why you guys can't talk, the reason why you can't be reasonable with each other and find solutions and answers is because you're engaged in the blame game. You know the only way to get out of the blame game is for somebody to be the bad guy, for somebody to be wrong, for somebody to be screwing up. And because neither people in the relationship and nobody in any relationship wants to feel like they're a screw up or wants to feel like they're to blame, they are stuck forever talking about who did what to who. They're talking about who's right and who's wrong. All right, so let's think about how do we change this pattern? How do we get them thinking differently, feeling differently about each other? Well, what we got to do is we got to shift the topic. Because right now we're talking about who's right and who's wrong, right? We got to shift and we got to talk about what's wrong, not who's wrong. Let me say that one more time. We have to focus on what's wrong, not who's wrong. How's that sound? What's that look like? Well, it looks like this. I'm hurt. I'm scared. I'm feeling frustrated. I feel disappointed. I feel unloved. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong for both of them. Both of them are feeling unloved. But instead of talking about what's wrong, their feelings and what their experience is, they're stuck in who's wrong. We go through this conversation again. And I say, I love what you're saying. I love, your feelings and your issues. They're your issues. And I don't want to debate any of them. But I want to practice with you for a minute, helping you talking about the real issue. And so again, I start with Jill. Jill, I want you to talk about what's wrong. And anytime she gets off base, anytime she starts going sideways, I'm going to redirect her. And then I'm going to give Jim a chance. So I start with Jill. Jill, let's talk about what's wrong. I want you, in fact, don't tell me. I want you to turn and I want you to tell Jim. Where are you? What's going on for you? How are you feeling? And so she looks at him and in fact, I'm a little bit more devious. I say, why don't you guys hold hands while you're doing this? All right, let's hold hands. And they look at each other and I say, okay, go Jill, whatever. Jim, I feel like I love you more than you love me. I feel disconnected. I feel like I don't know how to reach you anymore. I feel like I've lost you along our journey. Awesome. Cool. Jim, do you want to respond to that? Now Jim's response is completely different. Jim's response isn't, well, you did this and you're doing that. Jim's response is kind of like mine. Wow. I can hear it. I can feel. I'm sorry. That makes me sad because it's kind of what I'm feeling. It's kind of what I'm feeling with you too. I'm feeling disconnected. I'm feeling like I love you and I'm having trouble feeling that love back. So Jim begins to confess. He confesses where he's at. And by the end of the relationship, the two of them walk out feeling connected. Did their issues change? Did their issues even get resolved, as it were? No. But that wasn't the point. The point was to help them shift the conversation and talk about what was really the problem. Their feelings, their experiences, their reality, their truth. Talk about it in a way that they could feel heard and listened to. And that's exactly what we did in this conversation, this session. So, homework for you. I want you to try the same thing with your relationships. It could be a spouse or it could be a parent. It could be a friend. It doesn't matter. I want you, whenever you're feeling hurt or frustrated, I want you to sit down and I want you to talk about what's wrong. Now, I'm going to warn you right off the gate that the other person may hear it as who's wrong. And they may get defensive and they may get reactive because that's been the pattern for a while. And that's okay. What I want you to do is when that starts to happen, I want you to take a breath. I want you to make sure you stay calm. And I want you to reassure them. No. I'm sorry. I don't want to attack you. I don't want to blame you. I don't want to hurt you. That's not what we're doing here. I want to share with you. I want to be vulnerable with you. I want to be open with you and tell you about where I am, not where you are. And just redirect it. Just help them understand your goal and make sure you stay clean. Make sure you stay focused on what's wrong, not who's wrong. Again, I'm Brett. your favorite shrink, and this is my 5 minds. If you like what you're seeing here, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to make some comments about what you're learning, what you're practicing, make some comments below. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.